Oh, yes. Coming up next, it's the dope dad himself. That's right. It's Rico Lamite. He's a professional backpedaler. He's a professional reparations activist on top of being a dope dad. That's right. It is the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamite.
Yeah, we got to activate them reparations. You know how I feel, Jason.
Oh, I
All
bet.
right. So, you know what? There are no coincidences. America's opioid crisis had such an impact on all American communities, not just black ones this time, but all American communities that that lawmakers decided to actually do something about it. And now that capitalism ensures that the Sacklers will never be fully held accountable for the millions dead and strung out at their behest. Uh, I'm confident that their names will be immortalized regardless, and they'll be idolized for such good-hearted generosity, prompting them to donate enough of that blood money, hard-earned wealth, to get their names permanently emblazoned on hospitals, universities, and concert halls from coast to coast. It's already happening, and because real history is not taught in our schools anymore, all of us, our grandkids, will never know how Dick Sackler really bossed up because capitalism is great. And so, in lieu of the earth shattering rescheduling recommendation by HHS News that Gretchen so eloquently covered this morning, and none of us saw coming as soon as Joe Biden took office, I'm going to be covering a coincidental, totally not planned article dropped last night by Pharmacy Times promoting the multiple anticipated revenue streams pharmacies should be getting excited about as they wait for big pharma and the US government's guidance on replacing opioids with copay cannabis. What a time to be alive. Per the article, the $50 billion opioid settlement framework approved by a consortium of attorney generals and the U.S. Justice Department holds pharmaceutical and health insurance companies accountable for their involvement in the opioid epidemic. It does, however, have broader implications, potentially shaping the distribution of cannabis in big box pharmacies and the integration into mainstream health plans. Since all this new research surprisingly backs up and builds upon all that existing research, suggesting a potential correlation between the availability of medical cannabis and a reduction of opioid-related deaths and overdoses, there's no better time for pharmacies to get their pockets ready for the massive windfall coming their way. For states that have legalized medical cannabis as an alternative pain relief option, and ironically, as a means to counter opioid abuse. The settlement framework acknowledges this connection and provides an opportunity to standardize cannabis as the go-to pain management tool for mainstream health providers. The Sackler settlement's still being adjudicated, but the framework's already broken down into three categories. Substantial multi-billion dollar, what, Jason? Reparations. You can get reparations from the opioid crisis. Number two, rehabilitation coverage because rehab works. And number three, devising alternative diversion plans because we can't arrest everybody who is selling drugs anyways, right? So all this paves the way for a tidal wave of regulatory changes surrounding cannabis. Watch these holdout states rush to legalize medical cannabis to make sure that they get their cut too. The Compassionate Care Act and similar examples of state-specific legislation already set precedent for aims to offer legal protection and accessibility for all in need of that good government weed. The framework financial repercussions force pharmaceutical companies to diversify their product lineups, meaning pharmaceutical sales reps cannot wait to replace those empty Oxycontin slots with the latest heat from Jazz and GW Pharma. It's been in motion for years, and if you followed the money like I told y'all to every single damn day on this show, none of this would have been a surprise to you either. We were focused on social equity, community initiatives, and believing that the little guy even had a chance. Trying to save the children from gas station Delta 8 gummies that looked too much like candy, while major pharmaceutical chains netted over $1 billion in retail CBD sales from unregulated hemp-derived products. CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, billions of dollars selling CBD, but we're worried about gas station hemp. Wake up, y'all. When federal legalization does drop, look out for all those weirdo branded CBD companies already selling that bullshit at CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid, miraculously expanding their limited ass product catalogs in warp speeds to include plenty of 0.4% THC options. Box on the shelf empty? Well, got to show your ID and get in line at the back of the store to trade that in for the good stuff, sir. Sunday Scaries D is a controlled substance now. But what happens when somebody ends up with more than FDA approved 30-day supply? How are they going to handle inevitable supply issues? I went 2 months without Adderall this year due to the short supply issue and damn near stabbed a man. It ended up being the CVS security guard, and he ended up selling me some in the parking lot. So we good now. What up, Martinez? Seriously though, all leading indicators pointed at this thing playing out exactly how we saw it happen from the jump. I don't know how long it'll take for the full transition, but rescheduling is about to change the game as far as we know it for good or for worse. But no need to panic. FDA's always got our back, and I'm sure that Big Pharma will be kept in check. But you know who wins in a fight between a $15 copay weed from Walgreens with a Z and $90 rec shop brunts? Who always wins, Jason? Who?